Hello friends of Sudoku and welcome to another expert puzzle by El País. I want to remind you that it's not I who say it's an expert puzzle, it's the newspaper El País. Whether this turns out to be an expert level or not, I will let you decide. Meanwhile, let's just have fun trying to solve it, shall we?
Let's have fun!
The first number that I see is a 1. It must go here because these ones here block all of these squares. So here's a 1. And that raises the question what to do about a 7. 7 blocks here and here, and this is 7 blocks here. So for row 9, a 7 has got to go here. We're going to have a 9 in one of these two positions, and we're going to have a 5 here or here. We also need an 8 and a 4 for these squares, and I'm not sure I can find places for those yet. An 8 will have to go up here in one of these two positions. But these two squares must be a 7 and a 5, because this 5 and this 7 block here. So 7 and a 5 here, and that always leads me to ask what are these three squares going to be? Not 5 and 7, obviously, but a 4, 2, and a 6. I'm not able to place any of those yet. But a 4, 2, and a 6 here, therefore an 8 and a 3 for these squares. And the 3 blocks down. So this must be an 8, and this must be a 3. Now we have this 8 blocking across here, and this 8 blocking down. So this must be an 8. And now we are back to these two squares, and they must be a 5 and a 4. The 5 blocks down. Here's a 4. Here's a 5. Here a 9, 3, and a 6. We got a 9 and a 3 blocking here, so this must be a 6. And here a 2 and a 4 at some point, but not just yet. We have this 8 and this 8 and this 8 blocking all of these squares here. Therefore, this square's got to be an 8. Oh, I think I forgot to say that today is the 19th of January, 2024. I'm not sure when I will upload this video. I might keep it canned on YouTube for a time when I'm traveling and don't have anything else to publish. You can also find a link in the description for this video so that you can play the game yourselves if you would like to do so. I'm seeing a 7 blocking up here and across here. One of these is a 7 blocking up. This 7 blocks up. This 7 blocks across. So one of these is going to be a 7. And we're also going to have a 7 either here or here. We're also going to have a 2 in one of these squares here. First of all, a 2 must go here or here. We also have 2s blocking across here. So in addition to these two positions, we also can have a 2 in these two here. And that's why I can say with certainty that a 2 for column 2 has got to go in one of these three squares.
I'm certain of that.
We need an 8 for column 9. This 8 blocks here. And we have this 8 blocking here. This 8 blocks here. So there's only one free cell in the column for an 8, and that's here. And now we have this pattern. And 7, 8 here, 7, 8 here, 7, 8 here. They block everything in block 3 except for these two squares. They must be a 7 and an 8 in some order. By the way, we also have 8 candidates in these 2 squares. These 2 positions must be a 1 and a 2, because we have a 1 and a 2 blocking here and here. Therefore, these cannot be 1 and 2. There must be a 4 and a 5. And we know that these are 7 and 8. And that leaves only 2 squares to figure out, and they must be a 6 and a 3. And this ghost 6 blocks here. This 6 blocks here and here. Therefore, one of these 2 squares must be a 6. We remember that the other one was an 8. Let's try to keep that in our short-term memory, shall we? So 6 and 8 here. More importantly, though, is that this ghost 6 blocks it down, and this 6 blocks down. We know that one of these 3 squares must be a 6, because these are 7 and 5. So it turns out that this is a 6. This 4 blocks down, though, so a 4 must go here, and this must be a 2. 2 4s block up, therefore this is a 4. We know that these are 4 and 5 because we just talked about that. Now the 4 must go here and the 5 must go here. So let's have another look at this box up here. 6 and 8, therefore a 1, 9, and a 5 for these squares. The 9, of course, blocks over, so the 9 must go here or here. The 1 blocks over, so the 1 must go here or here. And that's, I think, all I can say about that box for the time being.
You must be blind.
5, 7, 9 for these squares. All I can say is that a 9 must go here or here, because this 9 blocks up, and we need a 9 for the column. I'm not done with this box up here. It's because we were talking about the 9s earlier, and I said that I didn't know where to put the 9. And I must have suffered from temporary blindness, because this 9 clearly blocks here and this 9 blocks here. So the 9 has got to go here.
So you woke up and...
And that gives me a 9 here, because this 9 blocks up. These 9s here block across. So here's a 9. And now we know that a 2 and a 9 have got to go in 2 of these 3 squares. So we are getting a little closer to a solution, I think. We also find ourselves now with a couple of 2s blocking across here and here, giving me a 2 here and therefore here. And this must therefore be a 4. So I think, yes, the solution is materializing very nicely. Now we know that this must be a 1, because this 1 blocks here, and we still need a 1 in the row. So here's a 1, and these are still a 6 and an 8. Therefore, this must be a 5. This 5 blocks across, this 5 blocks up, and this 5 blocks up. Here's a 5. You know what these 2 must be? It must be a 3 and a 6. We still have our 7 and 8 here, of course. And our 1, 2 here. Here also a 1 and a 2. We have a 3 blocking up, and we have a 3 blocking across. Ergo, a 3 must go here. One of these must be a 7, and it can't be this one here. Therefore, this is a 7. And this must be a 1. This 7 forces a 7 to go here and an 8 here. Now we know that this can't be an 8. It therefore must be a 6. And this must be an 8, because we analyzed that already. Up here, we're looking for a 4 and a 1. The 1 blocks up, giving me a 4 here and a 1 here. This can only be a 6. So we know that 2 and 9 had to go in 2 of these squares. What is the third number? It is a 7. I don't think I can place any of them. Let's look instead at these 3 squares. They must be a 4, 3, and a 6. Here we have more luck. The 4 blocks here, this 4 blocks here. So here's a 4. A 3 and a 6. 3 blocks over, here's a 6, and here's a 3. 3 blocks over and over here, here's another 3. We should be able to solve the 5-7 pair here pretty soon. Let's first look at this 5 blocking across and this 5 blocking down. It tells me that one of these is a 5 blocking across. This 5 blocks across and this 5 blocks down. So a 5 must go here. Now these squares must be a 2 and a 9. The 9 blocks down. So here's a 2 and therefore here's a 9. A 2 and a 7 here now. They'll have to wait just a few more moments. 1, 6, 9 here. 6 and 9 block this square. It must be a 1. And we might as well look at the ones now. This is a 1. 6 and 9 here. 6 blocks here. It must be a 9. And this must be a 6. Now we know that this is a 6. And this is a 3. Giving me a 3 here and a 9 here. 5, 7 still. Don't worry, we'll get there. First, we want to deal with this square. It's got to be a 2. Now this can't be a 2 anymore. It must be a 7. And this must be the 2. Finally, the 7s are going to be solved. The 7 blocks over here, therefore this is a 7. And we can now enter a 7 here and a 5 here. 5 and 9 for these squares. 5 blocks up. So here's a 9. And here's a 5. Nice little puzzle today. In my personal opinion, it wasn't really an expert puzzle. It wasn't even a hard puzzle, but it was quite fun. And I hope that you also enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.